Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the pilot episode of the Billionario.com golf segment. We Filipinos are fond of celebrations, birthdays, weddings, and even graduation. And this November, one golf club in Antipolo will be celebrating its 25th year anniversary. And we're talking about the Forest Hills Golf and Country Club. And this afternoon, we are happy to have the hardworking chairman of Forest Hills, Atty. Ferdinand T. Santos. Attorney, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Adrian. Good afternoon to everyone.
Attorney, in November, the Forest Hills will celebrate its 25th year. Can you briefly tell us the humble beginnings of Forest Hills and how it has become one of the best golf courses in the Philippines today?
The birth of Forest Hills Golf and Country Club as a project all started with the vision that my partners, Bob Sobrepeña and Toti Carino and myself had shortly after the successful launching of the Manila Southwoods in Carmona, Cavite. We envisioned then that with that outcome of the launching that we had, replicating the same project in another setting such as the foot of the mountain ranges of Sierra Madre would be perfect. And so that is how the dream of putting up Forest Hills and Country Club all started.
Wow. And it has gone a long way since then.
Yes, and actually, it was not easy to construct and develop a golf course project in the mountain ranges, even if you say it's only at the foot of the mountain ranges of Sierra Madre, because it is a lot, I don't know how you would call it, but it's a lot easier if you were developing a flat terrain for a golf course. When you're talking of a mountainous area, then there will have to be a lot of earth movements, adjustments, so that the routing and the layout of the golf course would more or less fit, given the very irregular undulation of the landscape in a mountainous area. So, at the start, while we were looking for a possible land that could be developed for that purpose, we met our joint venture partner, Mr. Johnson Ong. At that time, he had vast tracts of land in the foothills of Antipolo and the Sierra Madre Mountains, and he agreed to have a partnership with us on this golf course leisure community estate. In all today, actually, Forest Hills is composed of roughly about 600 hectares. 136 hectares of that would be the Forest Hills Golf and Country Club,
Which is about 136
Yes.
for the two golf courses.
for the two 18-hole golf courses, inclusive, of course, of the location of the golf club and its other facilities. The facilities of the club are as follows. We have a veranda for the dine-in of golfers. We have function rooms. We have a ballroom. We have a spa. We have a gym. We have a driving range. We have many tea houses. And all other smaller related amenities or facilities that go with a golf club.
Well, it's no wonder people are talking about Forest Hills and how happy they are to play whenever they play the two 18-hole courses. Well, moving on to the celebration in November, Uh, can you tell us what are the plans, what are the activities that the members and the guests can look forward to?
We are sponsoring a Pioneer member golf tournament. Participation in that tournament will require that the participating members should at least also be 25 years member
So
of the
from the
club
start,
from the start.
from the start.
And I would surmise that most of the participants there would be seniors like myself. So with that golf tournament, we would just want to gather all of these pioneer members and sort of re-strengthen the bond that has held all the members throughout this year.
I'm pretty sure that there will be many kinds of reminiscing that will happen, especially for those who have been there for the last 25 years.
Yes, that is very true, Adrian. And in fact, we have tried to gather some pictures to show how Forest Hills Golf Club looked like when we started and how it has now evolved to what you now see at the site, having seen the growth of so many trees. And not only that, because we have a very good vantage view, a commanding view of Metro Manila, namely Pasay, Makati, Ortigas, and Quezon City. The difference in those two pictures that we hope to present to the members on the awarding night of that Pioneer Member Golf Tournament, people will really see that at the start, I would even say the particular hole where it was taken has completely changed in character because of the maturity, the growth of the trees that we planted in Forest Hills. To date, by the way, we have planted at least about 30,000 trees. And as the name connotes, Forest Hills, I think somehow we have lived up to that name, considering the present lush trees that lined up all the holes in the two courses that we have. We have 36 holes.
After the celebration, what now is the plan of the club in the next 5 to 10 years? Will there be any redevelopment of the golf course? Will there be additional facilities in the golf club?
Well, in terms of expansion of the golf course, I'm afraid that that may not be possible because, as I said earlier, the entire project complex, which is about 600 hectares, 136 of that more or less is the golf course. And the golf course is actually surrounded by residential lots within the project. So with that, we cannot expand or increase the number of courses that we have from, say, 2 to 3. We're limited at that. But what we have been doing so far is to try to restore the 2 courses that we have to its prime condition when we first started. As the anniversary says, 25 years. 25 years is a pretty long time. And in the process, there are many things in the 2 courses that have deteriorated, or somehow the quality has gone down and it is not at the same par as what it was when we first started. The most important example of that is the tee boxes and the greens. The tee boxes, through the passage of time, will really get so deteriorated. I think as a golfer, you will see that whenever you play
Of course, of course.
in a golf course. No? So we are, part of our program is to regrass all the tee boxes. And moving on to the greens, through those 25 years that have gone by, the original size of all the greens there have somehow shrunk, and they've been reduced by as much as 50% of the original green that we had there. Now, what we're doing, well, the reason for that is the wild grass around the green and even in the fairways has started creeping in towards the green, and that somehow forced the maintenance people of the course to slowly shrink the green to what it is today. What we're doing right now is to restore it to its original size. And on top of that, we are introducing a new type of golf grass. We call it as the Tiff Eagle, to replace all the existing grass that we have in the entire golf course.
In both courses.
Yes, that is the ultimate
goal.
Goal, but you know, it takes a lot of money to do that.
And also
And
time.
in Forest Hills, as much as possible, we want to minimize having to ask from our members a special assessment of so much to be able to finance the regrassing of our greens. So far, if you do it by, you pace the rehabilitation by, in a single year, for example, if you're able to rehabilitate about 4 greens or 3 greens, that would be fine. Somehow, you will be also able to manage the budget that is required to be able to finance that regrassing and rehabilitation.
So it will take time also.
It will take time.
also.
And then the next program, or maybe if we can include it also together with the rehabilitation of the greens, is the rehabilitation of the fairways. Because any golf course for that matter, through time, the pure grass in the fairways and in the greens and the tee boxes, they get contaminated
Of course.
with
Over
the
time.
wild grass, with the type of grass that is organic in the area where you put up the golf course.
So that Tiff Eagle grass now is the one suited for the golf course?
It is the one suited for the greens.
For the greens.
The grass for the greens is different for the grass of the fairways and the grass of the tee boxes. Because what we normally do there is that we try to adapt the type of grass that we will grow there based on the usage and the abuse that the grass will suffer with the people playing golf in that course. Like, for example, tee box. When you tee off on the tee box, there is always a depot. It cannot be avoided. So you have to constantly repair that on and on and on. In the fairways, the problem there is not only the devots from the members playing or the guests playing, because when they hit their shot, sometimes the divot they take out from the surface is so big, and wow, it's really going to be very, I would use the term, damaging to the grass, no? And then the greens, well, there are no devots in the greens because you are only allowed to use a putter when you're in the green. But the problem with the greens is that through time, when somebody hits the ball from afar and it lands on the green, it ends up with a debot in the green. There's the
Yeah, especially
force of the ball landing on the green.
especially when it's going
Yes.
high and going
When
down.
the ball goes up and then it lands, and the velocity of the landing of the ball creates a debot in the green. So different types of grasses are applied to all of these. That's how it goes.
So, lastly, any message to the members of Forest Hills?
I realized that there are two major or parts in the construction, development of a golf course. When you do such a project, the first part is the infrastructure. And by infrastructure, I mean you do the golf course, you do the clubhouse, you do the tee houses, you do the driving range, etc., etc. All those are what you call the infrastructure of the golf course. The second part, however, is the management, the organization of the board. That is actually a different part of what makes up a golf course. The first one, infrastructure. If you have the money, you can probably have the best golf course that you can have. No? But even if the infrastructure is so good, if the board and the management will not be what they should be, then whatever infrastructure you have eventually might go to waste. Now, but what I mean more by the board and the management is that, for me, the philosophy or rationale of a board and the management should be service to the members. And what do I mean by that? Running a golf club is like running a hotel. The mentality of the people managing it, from the board down to the lowest ground personnel doing the grounds of the golf course, it should always be doing what is best for the club and doing what is best for the members and doing what best will be pleasing and acceptable to the members. We do not look at ourselves as members of the board or members of management as somebody that is put in a pedestal and all the other members will be looking up at us. No. We are servants of the members. We take on that responsibility very, very seriously. And actually, we will not be forever in the board. But the legacy we want to leave behind to the future members of the board and the management is that they should always be service-oriented. Because essentially, that's what the golf club is. And then, of course, to the members, I really would just hope that the policies that the present board has enunciated relating to the ambience that will pervade the golf club, it should be an atmosphere of friendship, an atmosphere of harmony, an atmosphere of peace, an atmosphere of camaraderie and fellowship among all the members. So, all these basic traits, which I would call the culture that we're trying to cultivate, I think will make up for a good golf and country club.
Okay.
I repeat, it's not only the infrastructure, but it is also with respect to the management of the club.
All right. There you have it, guys. Now we have an idea of what will happen in November. To be exact, the tournament dates are November 10 to 13, according to General Manager Raymond Longkin. So, we'd like to thank Attorney Santos for gracing our pilot episode. Attorney,
Thank
you
you
very
also
much.
for having me.
And this is Adrian Flores for Billionario.com.